scenarios of what it's like to be on an e-bike. Right guys, what's going on? This is my latest build, 2021 Track Marlin 5, size medium stroke large, in black, with a 500 watt hub motor on this one, which I'm going to take for a little test ride now and talk you guys through why I think 500 watts is the way forwards with e-bikes. Right, first off guys, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is speed. Everyone in the e-bike community seems to be obsessed with speed, and I don't get it. Well, I kind of do get it, because in the beginning, when I built my first e-bike with Andy, which was a 500 watt, absolutely loved it, thought it was amazing. It was the best thing since sliced bread. The more I built e-bikes, I realised that 2000 watts isn't like 2000 watts isn't necessary. A lot of people seem to be interested in just speed. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them haven't actually owned an e-bike and used it in the real world. A lot of the guys, again, not all of them, but a large percentage of people that want an e-bike haven't ever had one, and they don't actually know what they'd use it for in the real world, in the real world kind of circumstance. You know, like, not everyone's Sam Pilgrim going to be doing like backflips and tail whips on speed. Why are people on the internet so obsessed with top speed of e-bikes? Like, I don't get it. I think it's just something you do when you first start building e-bikes. You're like, I don't know if it's a guy thing or what, but I've kind of gone full circle with it now. Like, I love my build that I've got at the moment, which will probably do about 45 miles an hour almost, and that's like ridiculous. Like, I just don't think people get it, you know. I've had friends where I've been advertising an e-bike that does 40 miles per hour for sale, and they're like, can you build me one that does 55? And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like, when do you ever need to do like 50 mile an hour on a fucking mountain bike? It's just getting insane, and I just need to do a video to address it. It's just getting stupid now. People are just obsessed by numbers, and there's nobody fucking skilled enough to be doing 50 mile an hour through the woods unless you've just got an open flat track. Like, nobody needs that fucking speed, and something just needs to be said about it. Like enough already. 20 mile an hour or so, 30. That's your sweet spot for getting places quick. Being pretty fucking safe, but still getting fucking some decent fun. And the thing is, anything after 20 to 30 mile an hour is just requiring stupid controllers, stupid money, stupid size and weight batteries, stupid size and weight rear wheels. And I've just got to say something about it, because it's just getting stupid. Like, you know, I just get comments on everything by friends, by people on YouTube. Like the mini pit bike build that I did. Now, that's a different machine to a mountain bike. When I got that, it is like a mini dirt bike, and I want to be accelerating hard with all the power low down, like out of bends around the woods, you know, in tight little trails and woodland riding. So that was built with low down acceleration in mind, and that thing fucking rips. Like, it totally smokes a stock Sur-Ron, you know, and it's crazy. And it's exactly, you know, don't need any more than that. And when I posted a video of it doing, I don't know, does like 42 mile an hour, something like that, top speed, people were, I thought it'd be faster than that. So what? Who cares? When are you ever going to get on an electric pit bike and go down a dual carriageway like doing 50, 60 mile an hour? Like, that's not what it's about. I think people are losing touch with, you know, what e-bikes are about and what purpose they're going to be using for. I think a lot of people don't actually own e-bikes as well, and they fantasize about owning one and doing all this crazy insane stuff, and it needs to do 40, 50. It's bollocks. You really aren't going to be using it at those kind of speeds. I fucking guarantee it. Like, what realistically, if you've got an e-bike, most people will be either commuting a bit to work, maybe a little bit of woodland riding on paths as well. I mean, why the fuck do you want a bike that does 50 mile an hour on a fucking pavement? You're just asking for trouble, you know. I just got to have a bit of a rant about it, really, because I mean, this build, 500 watt hub motor. Now, if you compare this back wheel, which is an MTX upgraded wheel, I've just taken the stickers off. You compare the back wheel on this to a 1500 2000 watt kit plus, the wheels are just fucking ridiculous. They weigh several kilograms on their own, you know. This almost looks like a standard 250 watt e-bike, which is, you know, what I love about it. And it's light. I think the wheel's stronger because the unsprung weight is less. I think 500 watts are the way forward. I mean, you can ask Andy. I've been saying to him for ages. I was thinking about downgrading my own personal bike from a 2000 watt wheel back down to a 500 watt wheel, because you can still throw more amps at it, more volts, better controllers, and you can get probably the same kind of power, or not much different, out of a 500 watt hub motor, which is a lot smaller and a lot lighter. So yeah, I think 500 watts are the way forward. They look almost like a street legal 250 watt, but you've got all the perks of having less weight, looking more legal, and still going pretty fast. See, I think the problem we're going to have, if the law doesn't change to allow like more powerful e-bikes, they're going to start cracking down on it. And when you're driving around with a fucking rear hub motor that looks like a fucking spaceship, like that's like over a foot in diameter almost, fucking batteries hanging out everywhere, like you're going to be the first ones to get nicked and your bike taken away, you know, like if they could catch you riding on the streets. I honestly think 500 watts is the future at the moment for perfect builds. I mean, most kits that you get from anywhere, from Andy, from anywhere, are great, but they're not going to be their full potential without mostly a controller upgrade. I think people are like hung up on like the wattage of bikes. It's not all about the wattage. My little pit bike's 7,000 watts, but it's not all about top speed on that. It's about acceleration, and the speed from that mostly comes from like the amps it's drawing. Like the controller is pulling more amps than a standard controller will pull, like way more. I think it's putting about 100 amps or something, and that's where your low down power and torque's coming from. I think this is the same in the car world, you know. A lot of people are obsessed on brake horsepower, when a lot of the time fucking the feel of speed comes from like torque, you know. Yeah, I mean, this bike's an awesome little bike. It will do most people like to get going, and that 500 watt wheel is like the thing that can make this bike like upgradable in the future. Yeah, so this bike, I think, you know, when I first started getting into e-bikes, I thought the battery was the sweet spot, the main thing, and they still are important. But if you're looking at buying a standard e-bike straight off the shelf or an e-bike kit, they're not going to have the absolute best batteries or the absolute best controllers. And the more I've learned about it, the more you can throw fucking crazy voltage and amps at a hub wheel. An electric hub wheel will just take, I mean, look at my electric pit bike. That, I think that's 12 or 1500 watts as standard. I'm pulling 7,200 watts out of that bike at the moment. That's mostly through the upgraded controller handling more amps and pulling more amps out of that kit, you know. And that's where the power's coming from. It's coming from upgraded controllers. So if you've got something like this bike and started throwing like an upgraded controller, if you took a bike like this, started throwing like the upgraded controller, like the phase runner controller, or something even bigger, you're going to get a lot better results out of this. Yeah, if you take a 500 watt kit, I promise you can upgrade the battery, you can upgrade the controller, and you're going to see much better results than just going out and getting a fucking 2000 watt kit and thinking, you know, you can show off to people with the amount of watts your bike is. People are just getting it twisted and people are getting it wrong, I think, at the moment, and something needs to be said. Top speed, I can't imagine for the majority of people why it matters at all. I honestly can't. if you're riding on pavements, a bit on the road, in urban areas around town, most of the time the traffic's flying at 20 miles an hour. Like, I've done it myself. I rode like an idiot before at 40 down the middle of the street, overtaking all the cars. Yeah, it's great, but you're going to end up killing yourself doing that every day, and you're going to end up losing your bike, getting arrested, getting nicked. People who drive cars about forget how quick 20 to 30 mile an hour, like that sweet spot is on a mountain bike, and it just needs to be said. So I'm here today on this bike. Down Leigh-on-Sea, cruising around on this 500 watt build, and this bike is only 36 volts, which is like, yeah, it is a little bit smaller than the 48 volt bikes you normally get. However, there's perks to that. You can go and get another 36 volt battery and have double the extended range, and then you'll be going out for the whole day on your bike. The battery is a little bit quicker to charge. It's a little bit lighter than 48 volts. So you like, weight does come down to it, you know. You don't really, not every bike you want to have a 5,000 watt hub motor and a 72 volt battery and a controller the size of a small car on it. It's just not practical. It's just not, like, people are not getting it, you know. This is perfect. Down the seafront, cruising around, doing 10 mile an hour at the moment, and that's reasonable, and this will do over 20. You're not going to come charging through here 45 mile an hour. So look, I'm going to pick the speed up a little bit now on this, just to give you an idea. 500 watt, 36 volt. And I already feel like I'm going to cause loads of issues. See what I mean? If I was tearing through here on a 72 volt 5,000 watt hub motor, I'm probably just going to end up getting people complain, crashing. Like, you're just not going to use that amount of power. And that's my point today. Look, 36 volt 500 watt is more than enough. You're not even going to pedal this fast. There's no way you'll be there's no way you're going to be pedaling this fast along here consistently for as long as this battery will last you. Yeah, and then you've got the other end of the spectrum where you're not actually getting no exercise anymore on bikes. That's the other thing. People that I speak to are actually still interested in still getting some exercise on the bikes, and with a bike that does 40 mile an hour, it's very unlikely you're going to be bothering to try pedaling, you know. People, especially during lockdown, have been kind of focused on actually getting a bit of exercise. I just want to give you guys an idea, even with a bike that's 500 watts, what it's like matching the speed of traffic. This is your local high street, right? I'm just going to join the main road now. Thank you. Right, as you can see, the cars in front are not really gaining any speed. I guarantee the moment they come to a traffic light, I'll be past every single car that's in front. Remember, when you're buying an e-bike is you're not governed by the wattage of the kit. If the kit's 500 watt, you put the right battery and controller across it, and it's going to pull way more than 500 watts. Not actually restricted by the size of the motor wheel. It's actually really easy to pull more watts from a hub motor or a mid-drive motor, as we've proved with like our pit bikes and me and Andy have built. Yeah, I honestly believe that 500 watt is like the sweet spot for e-bikes if you want to customise your bike and fit a bigger battery eventually and an aftermarket controller. Thank you.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, I think if you're going to get to the point where you're going to upgrade things, then 500 watts is definitely the way to go. It's lighter. I'd say it's a little bit stronger for off-roading, and you've got the ability to push it. You've got the ability to push it way harder than what it's capable of as standard. Okay, so let us know in the comments what you think is an important factor when buying an e-bike. I mean, I think a lot of this top speed comes from having like bragging rights of my bike's faster than yours, or I've got an e-bike that goes faster. People are just taking like, they're not taking into account the fun factor of what it's like just to get on a small, lightweight, nippy little bike and just blast around. People are really not just taking into a factor having a small, lightweight, fun bike that you can just jump on and just have fun with, that's light, that's simple. It doesn't look like, you know, that doesn't look like something that's going to get you arrested because it looks like a complete monstrosity, you know. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think about it. Whether you think I've got a valid point about the whole speed thing that's just gone away with people. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave us a comment and I'll speak to you guys in a video soon. Take it easy.